Okay, so hey guys, it's Quinston, and today we're going to look at the Fibonacci numbers. Now this is a very simple program, it's not that difficult, but it's still a very important first-timers coding project which a lot of programmers learn when they're actually beginning their programming careers. It teaches a lot of concepts about assignment, while looping, and a bunch of other concepts. Now Fibonacci numbers is a beautiful concept. If you don't believe me, go and check out in the description. I have a link to a seminar which actually tells you how awesome Fibonacci numbers are. So without further ado, let's get into what they are and how to know what the next number is. The Fibonacci numbers start off with the number 0, then it goes on to 1, okay? It just increments to 1. But then to get the third number, you have to add the first two numbers, and then you get the third number. Now to get the next number, well, obviously you have to add this number, and then you get the next number. Similarly, add 1 and 2, you get 3. Add 2 and 3, you get 5, and so on and so forth. So you can see that you can generate a number of numbers with this series. So it's not that hard to understand how to generate them. Now let's see a program which helps us to generate Fibonacci numbers. So here we have our program which is going to help us generate Fibonacci numbers. This is our main function call. We're going to call the main function from this. I'm coding this in Python. Then we have a def main. Now this is our main function. Then you have count. So our count is going to store the amount of numbers you want to print. So I've printed this out. How many numbers do you want to print, and this will convert it to an integer, the value which we take from the user raw input, and it will store it in count. So count will be the amount of numbers you want to print. Then we have if count is 0. Okay, what if count is 0? Then we don't want to print anything, right? If count is 0, we don't want to print anything because no numbers are supposed to be printed. Then we have an else block. In the else block, we do two things. We assign a to 0 and we assign b to 1. Remember the first two values, 0 and 1. So a will be the first number, b will be the second number. Then we print a because we need to print at least one number, right? Then we check if count is greater than 1. If it is, we print b. And why am I doing this? Because if I input it count is equal to 1, what I'll do is I'll print the first number, but then I'll check is count greater than 1? Should I print the next number? If I should, then I'll print it. But if I shouldn't, I'll stop it here. The block will end over here because I need to print only one number. Next, I'm going to go into the while loop. While count is greater than 2. So while count is greater than 2, it means I need to print more than two numbers. I already printed my two first numbers, a and b. While the count is greater than 2, I must say, I'm going to print more numbers. C is equal to a plus b. We adding the step where we add the first two numbers to get the next number. Then we print that number. And then we give the value of b to a and c to b. And then we decrement count by 1. Now this is a very important logical step on this part. The thing is that I'm giving the value of b to a because b will be the second last number and c will be the last number. So we need to add the second last and the last number in order to generate the next term. So if I give b to a now and c to b, while this loop is going on forward, b will be the value of c, right? Because that's the next term, and a will be the value of b because that was the second last term. So that's how the logic works. You shift the pointers to the next, second last and last numbers, and you eventually get c, which is the next term. If you don't understand this, then I suggest you take a piece of paper and you write it down, and yeah, you'll probably understand. It's not that hard to understand what's happening, and this is really not a very big milestone. But when you're doing programming for the first time, these are one of the main first kind of problems you encounter. So yeah, I thought I'd cover this just for completeness. Check the link in the description. That link is awesome. It leads to a TED Talk which is pretty amazing. So yeah, thanks for watching guys. See you later.